In today's video, I am going to be setting up my reading journal for the month of April, and I will be sharing with you all my TBR for the Magical Readathon's Spring Equinox, as well as some of the other reading challenges that I'm currently doing. So stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by. My name is Tracy and this is a girl with plans. And if you have yet to subscribe, I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button while you're here. So today I'm actually going to be splitting up my reading journal videos. Usually I will do a reading recap plus a setup in one video. This time I'm going to be setting up for the month of April, but March hasn't quite finished yet and I have like a few days left. And I might read another book, so I can't really wrap up March yet. So let's just go ahead and set up April. Plus setups usually take a long time, and you know, the Magical Readathon is having their Spring Equinox. So I figure I can kind of go over my TBR. If you do not know what the Magical Readathon is, it is a reading challenge that's kind of set up like a Dungeons and Dragons type thing. Like you create your own character, you have your own story, and then there's a year-long reading challenges. That's the Adventures in Eldia. So probably saying that wrong. And then there are also a Spring Equinox challenge and a Fall Equinox challenge because your character goes to school in Aurelium Academy and you choose all these other things. It's really, really fun. I had it in this journal as part of my challenges journals, and then I realized I don't have enough pages set aside for that particular challenge to complete it. So I have since moved it into my blackout journal. So I will share with you what I've done to set that up a little bit later. But if you want to know more about the challenge, definitely check out Book Roast over on both Instagram and YouTube. And she has in-depth videos explaining it. There are so many cool documents on the Google Drives and everything that you can download and print out. Like I said, I'll go through my reading journal that I just recently set up for the entire Eldia or the Magical Readathon challenge. All right, so what am I going to do today? So I love the way I currently set up my monthly. It's something that I had not done previously. I've done like variations of it, but I really like how I'm doing it now. So when I say previously, I meant last year. This year, I've been setting it up all the same. So I've been doing like a huge kind of, decorative spread with my calendar here to log my reading. Plus I will put my TBR here. The TBR here looks short because I had a readathon that I was capturing in my journal for the month of March, and I had a separate TBR there. But these are the two main pages. So it's mainly like a big old decorative page that I have my TBR and my reading log on, and then this will be my stats page. So that's kind of the general way that I set it up. If there is a big readathon that I'm not capturing in a separate journal, and then I may do one of these extra pages in there. This month, I'm not going to do that in here because, like I said, I have a separate journal, but I am going to put my TBR on here. So now that whole intro is done, I got these papers. Trying to find, I have like what did I do with the actual cover that this was in? Oh, here it is. I'm like, where is it? So this is called Alice's Illusion paper set. You got 25 pieces of paper in here. And I think there were 25, but then you got duplicates. I got this from Temu like over a year ago. I never used it. So I figured now was a good time to do it. So I already drew in my calendar because what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to kind of just do a random like collage, junk journal-esque type collage where I'm going to put these papers all over the place. This could turn out like a hot mess. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, maybe it'll be like my favorite creation to date. Who knows? So the reason why I can do this on this page is because I have this and then I need to leave a space to kind of capture my reading log. I'll just put the month over top of this. And then I can fill up this whole page. And I'm going to put, I also am doing a couple of other challenges. Where are my challenge pages? I can never find them I think it's right here. I need to update this. I have not been updating this. I don't think I'm going to continue this in 2026. So this one, I need to still put my March book on here. I ended up switching. There's like two prompts that you can do, and I just didn't feel the prompt that I had originally chosen. So I did another one, which was a cover change. So I did, I forgot which one it was. It was the Throne of Glass series though. But so I'm doing the Year of Goober Readathon. Joshi Koren is hosting that one, and then I'm doing the Buzzword Challenge, and then I'm doing Adventures in Eldia, as well as, like I said, the Magical Readathon. So I will put the big ones here, so from those, and then Adventures in Eldia probably, and then the Readathon that I'm doing for this month, I'm probably going to use one of these and then open it up, and I have these small book covers that I'm going to put under it so that way I have enough. So yeah, we'll go over that as I do, as I go over my TBR. All right, so I'm going to kind of just place these where I think they should go. All right, so I'm almost finished. This is like a wonky piece, and I like the wonky side better. So I'm gonna put this here, and then I'm gonna trim up it. Oh my gosh, I love this. Now, I am worried about the thickness of this journal because, because this is an old binding style Archer and Olive journal. So the binding is a little bit different than the newer journals. It doesn't have, I'll show you in a minute. And it is starting to tear. Now this one I got for free. And they weren't making these to sell anyway. These were specifically, I just cut my ribbon. Not all the way off, but I did cut my ribbon. I didn't learn my lesson from last year. Hopefully it stays. So see, the binding style is like this versus like this. So it is like struggling. So it did tear here. Like I said, this one, they didn't sell retail. They were giving them away at one point. So I think once affiliates hit certain milestones, but then they sold them and refunded us because apparently the quality, and it wasn't like past quality or whatever. So yeah. All right. This is really, really pretty, y'all. I'm really happy with this. Okay. So when I talk about my reading challenges and things like that, I am going to be doing, so we're going to do reading challenges here. Okay. And so I have Buzzword and Goober. So there we go there. I'll put the book covers there in a minute, I think. Yeah. All right. Then we have, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put readathons. And I'm going to put Adventures in Eldia. And then I'm going to put the small book covers here. I can cut this probably. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to go over, let's take a quick break from this real quick, and I'm going to show you my reading journal. So here is, so this I had started with this. And then here's Aldia. Here's my character. She is wearing a dress. It's just really light. Yariel. It's the same name as I had in the other one, but I did change the character. She's an elf with perhaps some human ancestry who was born during the blood moon in the province of Carador with a wilding background. And then this is where I messed up in the other journal, and this is the reason why I ran out of space, is because I had like put like the story of their backgrounds and stuff on individual pages. Now I just made pockets. This came from a paper pack that I got from Michael's that was like Halloween paper pack, and it had these swirls, so I just cut around the swirls and put it here, and this made a pocket, and then I just wanted to carry it over. But this I did a Dutch door because these two pages are going to be relating to my character. I think what I'm going to do is like your character earns things, like can get weapons or like a familiar or something like that. Or is it familiar or familial? I think it's familiar. Like, you know, your animal familiar. So I can put them here, and then I have room for here if I want to do another pocket and put stuff. And then we have my guild. So my guild is the Mind Walkers. And then there were some other things in here too. You can see where my glue kind of, and so you have like your conduits. So like she does have a dagger because everyone who's part of the Mind Walkers can get a dagger. And then it has a little bit about my legacy and stuff like that. Like I said, all of these came off of the Google Drive for the for the Magical Readathon. And then we have Aurelium. So I have this as a completely separate section. And you have to pick your calling. And I put the index here. I probably didn't need to. I probably could have done it in a pocket. And then I have another pocket here. So right now, I started last year. I technically started in the summer of last year, and then I backtracked and did the Spring Equinox. So I started doing the Mage Hunter because it was very interesting. It's a really interesting calling. We'll see in a minute. But it's also doesn't have as many reads as some of the other ones have. And then this year I added a second calling of Abjurer. Yeah, I cannot pronounce these crazy words because a lot of the reading overlaps with that. So I'm like, hey, I can do two. So here we go here. So here is the Mage Hunter. Its the primary job is the investigation of crimes and the tracking of wanted criminals. They often work in an official capacity, but for the right price can be hired as private detectives. That's just me. So like during the Spring Equinox on this, you have the same kind of classes that you have to take each semester, but you get different syllabus each semester that have the different prompts on them. So like I have 4 classes I have to take in the spring equinox. In the autumn equinox, I have 3 classes, but they all have levels to them. And if you are like on the first level, you only have to read 1 book. If you on the second level, you have to read books from the first prompt and the second prompt. So it gets kind of complicated. We can get to that in the fall semester. And then here's the abjurer, and they said the abjurers are experts in defensive magic. They are often hired by words or mage hunters. There we go. To provide protection. So I figure I can learn both, right? And this one, so the spring equinox, a lot of the classes overlap. The only difference is this one has inscription and this one doesn't. So I literally have to read 1 extra book. So I'm like, why not? So there we go there. And then I have an extra one. Here was my spring equinox. I had done this in my other journal. Like I said, I ran out of pages and I wanted to just, I was going to run out of pages, but like here was my spring equinox. So this, I love this so much better. I need to somehow put the syllabus in here. I got to figure that one out. But yeah, I didn't need it to be 2 pages, but I made it 2 pages. Here, I'll tape the syllabus here for this one. This is the fall equinox. Every time you finish an equinox, you get 50 points. So I also need to do all of that here. I have, like this reading challenge is so cool. Look, there's like a shop. And when you get points, you can buy things. Like there's a good chance that I'm going to buy something for this reading challenge. Because like if you can't do the prompt, there's like a scroll of replacement or a scroll of exchange that you can pay to change things. So it's really, really cool. And then for the spring and the fall, I've already decorated for both of those because it's like a dragon theme. So these were from Cora Korea Crafts, this rice paper. And I stuck it on here with the pockets. So how cool is that? So you can see I'm not like doing heavy decorating, but I'm doing some. And then here's the syllabus. This is how you know which ones to do. So let's kind of go over the classes that I'm going to take. And that way I can tell you about how I came up with this. So the first one is Conjuration. And I need to read a book. So the course focus is locational summons, and you need to read a random country generator for an author. So you need to do a random country generator for an author. I've done that. And you can do it 5 times and then pick one. Yeah, every country I picked, I can't find a book for that author. They were just very small countries that I didn't really know of. I am more of a fantasy reader, so it was a little tough. So I'm going to be using a scroll of replacement for those, and I have to use it twice. So that'll be like 30 points, but I have at least over 100. So yeah. So we have that. So for that one, we're going to skip that one because I'm just going to put a random one on that one. I'm thinking I might do Air of Fire for that one, or I could do the second one in the Blood and Seal, the Legends of Thesmar series. So we'll see. So yeah, that was a bad one to start with, but that was at the top of my list. So the next one is Elemental Studies, and that one is only for the Mage Hunter. And that is, the course focus is Earth, specifically fruits, and you have to have fruit on the cover. So I'm going to do Peaches and Honey for that one. And unfortunately, I don't think this one is going to overlap with any other challenge that I'm doing. Now you can overlap some of these. So like, there's also like an Adventures in Aldea annual one, but yeah. All right, so Peaches and Honey. So that's going to be for my elemental studies. And then spells and incantations are for both of the callings that I'm doing. And the course focus is copy and paste. And it's word from your last book title. So the last book that I finished when I was doing my TBR what was the last book I finished? I have it, Wrath of the Damned. And I was like, for some reason I had the first book in my mind, and I found a great book that was the first book. I can't remember that at this point. So Nectar of the Wicked. That was the name of the first book. It was a duology. The second book was Wrath of the Damned. So I looked and there was a lot of stuff for Wrath, and I'm going to like step aside from fantasy, and I'm going to do King of Wrath. I have never read this series. Apparently this was like a TikTok sensation type book. It's a dark. I don't know if it's dark. Maybe. Romance. So not fantasy. But we'll see. So we'll put that one there. That one also is not going to fill any of these prompts. But there we go. Then we have inscription, and that is just for Abjuror. And the course focus is the hook, and it's the first sentence challenge. So what you do is you pick 3 books, you read the first sentence from this, and then you pick the best one. This was so cool. What I did at first, I was like reading them, but then I did the audio sample on Amazon. That was super cool. So the 3 choices that I had was Quicksilver, Anathema, and Anastasia. So Anathema and Anastasia are very similar. So I knew Anathema was on my, I hope I'm saying that right. That is by Carrie Lake. It's like a dark gothic fantasy type thing. I think it's romantasy. So I think it's dark gothic romantasy. But apparently, so Anathema was on my March possibilities and I didn't get to it. So that one was on there. And then I heard that Anastasia was kind of the same vibe. So that's why that one made the list. Anathema. I thought Quicksilver was going to win, but Anathema won. And so the reason why I picked these 3 was for another reason. My Goober reading prompt for this month is 1-word title. Let me make sure, because I've been wrong before. I've thought it was and everything. Yeah, 1-word title. And all 3 of the books that I did the first sentence for had 1-word titles. So that's how I narrowed it down. But they were all, at least 2 of those are on my TBR. And now Anastasia is going to be on my TBR too. Not this one, but another one. Okay, so we'll put Anathema there. So that one is also going to go, and I can do a bigger one up here. Now, I could have done bigger book covers for the readathon, but full disclosure, I went ahead and printed these out for my bookshelf, and for some reason I got my dimensions all wrong and they are way too tiny, but I'm like, that's okay, because some of these are duplicates of what's going to be above it. So there we go. All right, so buzzword is going to be this one. Goober is going to be this one. Okay. And then the next one is Restorations, which is Uncommon Antidotes. It is a book with a 4-star average rating. So this one I'm also going to double up. I could put a lot of my books on this one, but basically the buzzword reading challenge for this month is animals. And I was going to read Songbirds. I can't remember, but it was The Crowns of Nyaxia. But I have a physical TBR that I need to complete, and Six of Crows is on that. And I really need to read Six of Crows. I really want to read it. I feel like it'll be a nice change from some of the fantasy romantasy that I'm reading too. So I do have a nice variety, I feel like, in my TBR this month. When I go over my March recap, you can see that I didn't have as many good books in the month of March. So yeah. All right. So Six of Crows, and then I'm going to put Six of Crows for the buzzword challenge as well. I am not someone who can read. I think my max number of books have maybe been 8 or 9. I don't know if I read 10 last year or not. Usually if I get really high numbers, it's because of audiobooks. And there's only certain kind of audiobooks I can listen to. Like, I just finished listening to the new Finley Donovan one. Finley Donovan Digs Her Own Grave. That is such a good book to listen to. Highly recommend those to listen to on audio. The narrators are great. It's hilarious. So it's just easy to follow. You don't have to give 100% attention to it. Fantasy books, I feel like you have to give 100% attention to. Okay. And then, like I said, the random one, I think I'm going to do... Actually, for the random one, like I said, I'm going to be using the, I'm going to have to pay to change it. So the random one is going to be for the Conjuration one. And I don't think I'm going to do Air of Fire. I have a vacation coming up this month, And I kind of need to be aware of my physical books because I'm going to take my Kindle with me. So I want to read the next book in the Blood and Steel series. I thought I had it somewhere. Oh, is it right here? Here it is. Is it Val in Ruins or Fate? I think it's Val. I think it's Val in Ruins. Y'all, they're just like, the construction hasn't been too bad since I started filming, but now they're like backing up. And okay, so then I'll put this one here. Oh, if I would have just moved, can I move these over? Now, could I have just put all of these on the, straight on the page? Yes, I totally could have. I just wanted a flap. Okay, so that is 6 books. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. It feels like there's too many. No, it's 5 books. I'm counting wrong. So yeah, those are the 5 books I have to read for the readathon. I'm going to cut this off really quick. There's one more book that I'm going to do because there's a couple of more things, y'all. There's a couple of more things. All right. Now there's a couple of more. Now you can get points for, I can make this even smaller. Do I want to make this even smaller? No, I'm going to leave it. I have enough room. Okay, so there's also a book club for the Spring Equinox book club, and it's based on your guild. And basically they voted on a book. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. And for that one, my guild, like I said, was, what is my guild? Oh my gosh, I can't remember this stuff off the top of my head. I'm getting old. The Mind Walkers. So it's the Mask of Mirrors. And that should be available at my library in a few weeks. So I'm going to put this here. Well, I'll put it over here. And we'll do book clubs. Because it's technically a book club. Or should I do... that one? Okay, so I have that one. And then the last one... Actually, I wonder if... Hold up. I might change this. I might write something in here. Because I have Adventures in Aldea. It's actually a year-long, like, readathon, reading challenge, however you want to call it. And that one, for the month, I'll show you my Adventures in Aldea. So here it is. This year is a game board. And this is what I'm doing. So they said, you know, try to be more oh my gosh, that is so upside down. What in the world? Now, you could double up and choose a book for this one that was already on, that you were using for the reading challenge. So this, for this month, so I am taking the B route. So I started here, so I'm going here. So now I'm at 4B. I need to like mark these off with stars or something. So I need a W in the author's name. One of my favorite new authors, well, not a new to me author, is C.W. Crawford. And last month I thought Lady of the Lake was going to be coming out. Yeah, it was this month that it's coming out. And I think it should be released on Kindle Unlimited because this is a Kindle Unlimited author. And this is the 3rd and final book in the Fae Academy series. I knew I was going to do that. So... I'm going to read that one this month. If I decide to renew Kindle Unlimited, and we probably are because that's the majority of the books that I read. They're not available on other sources because they're just like Kindle Unlimited books. So what I might do here is find like the Spring Equinox or the Aurelium Academy logo and put it here. So when you flip it up, you'll see the Aurelium Academy and then you'll see this. So there we go. Those are my TBRs. I think that's it for my TBRs. So we have these 4. 2 of them kind of overlap. So I have 4 and then 5, 6, 7 books on my TBR for the month. So there we go there. I'm going to finish decorating really quick. I have to be a little bit different when I decorate these pages. So what I think I'm going to do is over here, we are going to, or I am going to, here's like where I'm going to do another recap, but here's where I'm going to do like the pie charts and stuff. All right, I don't think I'm going to set that up. I think I'll just set that up off camera. I'm just going to be drawing circles and squares and stuff like that. It's fine. I need to think about that a little bit more about how I want to set it up. I might do it after I fill in February's. But there we go. That is the main setup for today. This was fun. Oh, I need to put the month. I guess we'll do rainbow dated possibly. Maybe we'll do a pink to bring in that bright pink. See, there was some pink in here. That's why I wanted pink. I didn't want green. But all right, guys, there we go. So I really liked the fact that I put this over here. It just looks a lot better. It was just rough. This looks fine. I cut around that okay. But this looks rough. I don't like the pink, but it's okay. So yeah, I decorate this a lot, these 2 pages, because it's kind of like my title page / intro, but I kind of want to make it functional. So this is where I will log when I read what books, so that way I can see that I can see the days that I read plus the days that I read certain books. So I will use a dot marker, write the book down, and then the corresponding dot color will be up here. And then this is I guess it's more of my TBR because this is kind of things that I thought hard about to fill a lot of these prompts. And then of course my readathon TBR for the Spring Equinox of Aurelium Academy, which is part of the Magical Readathon. Like I said, I'm gonna probably print out the Aurelium Academy logo and put that there. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at this. I hope you enjoyed looking at my Magical Readathon journal and hearing about my TBRs and things like that. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed, I would also appreciate if you would consider subscribing. Like I said, I should be doing another reading journal video where I will be doing my March wrap up. There were some big disappointments in March. There are some real highlights. I gave a 5-star to something, and then I gave some 2.5 stars to something. So yeah, it was definitely a interesting month. So we will fill out my stats, we'll update my journal, and kind of go over that in another video. But like I said, I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune in to this video. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening or night. Bye.